It's Friday, October 19th, and I'm your host, Paula Hersey. On today's show, we're looking forward to a not-so-scary Halloween with Barnstable Recreation, embracing the fall season on Sandy Neck, and learning about the Cape Light Compact's 3-year energy efficiency plan. Let's start with some news you can use. Quiet, dedicated, unassuming heroes live among us in the town of Barnstable. This past Monday evening, the Centerville, Osterville, Marston's Mills Fire Department recognized firefighters, EMTs, and paramedics and dispatchers in a standing room only ceremony at the COM Fire headquarters.
As we move through this afternoon's program, I ask you to keep one of my favorite sayings about the fire service in your head, which is the best part of a firehouse is the firefighters inside.
Ladies and gentlemen, this group that stands before you of COM personnel represents 440 years of public service. Congratulations and thank you all.
Teamwork was essential to that effort's success, and every member of COM Fire Group 4 did their job. For that, I would like the following members of COM Fire to come to the front of the room and receive commendation for their effort. Captain Thomas Burchell, Lieutenant Eric Bankston, Lieutenant Thomas Gooderl, Firefighter David Gelinas, Firefighter Zachary Hunter, Firefighter Jack McGonigal, Firefighter Michael Perry, Firefighter Charles Riley, Firefighter Chris Rogers, Firefighter Jason Travis, Firefighter Ryan Scott. Ladies and gentlemen, Group 4 COM Fire.
Thank you. Congratulations from the House.
Thank you, sir.
This action was one of the most courageous acts of selflessness and bravery that I have observed in my 27 years of public service. For that effort and for placing themselves in extreme danger, I award Lieutenant Jason Davern, Lieutenant Enrique Rascaway, Firefighter Thomas Long, and Firefighter Scott Mullen the Centerville Osterville Marston's Mills Valor Pin to be worn prominently on your Class A uniforms.
I'd like to present this to Chief Wynn on behalf of the COM Fire Department.
Thank you very much.
As I stated earlier, the best part of a firehouse is the firefighters inside. Tonight, you see why.
Join Barnstable Recreation at the annual not-so-scary Halloween event at Barnstable Intermediate School on Route 28 in Hyannis from 1 to 3 p.m. on Saturday, October 20th. Michelle Davies has all the spooky details. Admission is free. Come in, your costume, and join them for trick-or-treat or a treat hunt, carnival games and sensory activities, a craft table, and a magic show.
Mickey, thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to talk about one of the most fun events I think that you guys do here at Recreation is Not So Scary Halloween, probably second only to the extravaganza that you do for Easter. So the Not So Scary Halloween is coming up this Saturday. Let's talk about it.
It is. It's coming up this Saturday. It's going to be at the Barnstable Intermediate School. It runs from 11 o'clock until 1:30, and it's such a great time. We're doing it a little bit earlier this year because we really want to give kids that opportunity to wear those costumes multiple times. Mm-hmm. You know, parents are either being very creative and making something or spending a lot of money. So you kind of want to get the most out of the holiday, and there seems to be a lot of holiday fun happening.
I know there's also a lot of kids that like to maybe do different costumes. You know, they really like to play dress up. So it's like they wear one costume to one event, and then they can wear another one to another event. So it's nice to have multiple events that kids can
and it's great family fun, too, you know. It's fun for the entire family. So usually our stuff is based for kids, probably, God, we'll take the creepy crawlers all the way to, I would say, probably 3rd or 4th grade. But if you're an older child, a sibling, and you're going to go with one of your younger siblings, you're going to have a blast because you're going to help them with some of the carnival games. You can help them with some of the arts and crafts. There's sensory things there for your little toddlers or your creepy crawlers that can sit and play in the bird seed, which is festive and, you know, a great time. We also have prizes and novelties. There should be some food there that you can enjoy, and what's going to change this year is usually in the past we used to have the amazing Richard as our magician, and I adore Richard. He is so great, but I'm afraid he's hurt, so he's not going to be here this year. But he will still be running my winter magic class.
Oh, good.
So everybody knows Richard will be back. He's not gone. But we have a new magician, Jedley, coming from Boston. So I'm really excited to see a new show, and I know that people who have come in the past, it's going to be great for them because they're going to have a new show to watch
Yeah,
as well.
something new, something different. You
Yeah.
know, Richard is amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah,
That's the name.
Right. But it's nice to do something different, switch it up a little bit.
Yeah.
So this is a rain or shine event because you are at the intermediate school.
We're at the intermediate school. The only thing that is outside is our Halloween egg hunt, which is in a small little graveyard located in one of the semi-field areas, kind of in between the parking lot by the cafeteria. You enter through the cafeteria. Kids are allowed about 6 eggs, which all contain little Halloween treats. Make sure if you have some younger children to, watch out for chokeable-sized stuff.
Right.
But there's a lot of free things to do. The magician is free that day. Arts and crafts are free. Sensory stuff is free. The egg hunt is free. Things like the concession, they all cost $1. We use tickets, and each ticket costs $1.
Right.
So it's 1 ticket for the stuff at the concession, 1 ticket if you'd like to play a carnival game, or 1 ticket if you'd like to buy a novelty. So really,
It's relatively inexpensive.
Yes,
I mean,
it
you can
really
do a lot
is.
at this event for free and just bring a couple bucks
Yeah.
for concessions. You'll have things like popcorn, I assume.
yes,
and
popcorn, hot dogs, cupcakes, some nice Halloween
some little treats.
Yeah. Juice boxes,
Yep.
so whatever gets you through.
Yep.
We'll have it.
Wonderful. I
Yeah.
think this is such a fun event. You guys have been doing this event for so long.
Yeah.
That it's really become a staple in a lot of families' lives. So hopefully,
It has, and it switches up a little bit. Back in the day, it used to be for the teenagers, and it used to be down at Veterans, and it used to be scary, and then it became not so scary because there was a lot of haunted house stuff going
Yeah.
on for that age group. And I'm thinking maybe next year we'll change it up again. I'm not sure, but I think maybe a different idea
Yeah.
or something fun. So I'm excited.
Yeah, it's a fun event. You can play with it, do different things. I can't wait. Hopefully people will go. It's this Saturday. It's at Barnstable Intermediate School. It's from 11 to 1:30. All are welcome. Family, young kids, older kids, grandparents, aunts, uncles.
Yeah, you're
Just
going to love it.
come on
And Jedley
down.
the Magician. You can't miss it.
Wonderful.
It's great.
Mickey, thank you so much for talking with
Sarah,
us today.
all the time. I love it. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
All right.
The air has finally turned crisp and cool, and fall season is upon us. We check in with Natural Resource Officer Sean Cordes, who has details on hunting, upcoming changes in hours for ORV corridor, and what to expect for this time of year if you are hiking or looking for wildlife on Sandy Neck. It's that time of year again, the best time of year on Sandy Neck, especially for some of our natural resource officers. With me on the phone today, Sean Cordes. It's gorgeous out there.
Yes, it is beautiful weather out here today. It's definitely feeling like fall finally.
So there's lots of things that happen in the fall at Sandy Neck, and we just want to cover some of the more important ones that, some special tips for folks. So let's start with the big one. Hunting season just started.
That's correct. Yep. So hunting season here at Sandy Neck began this past Saturday, October 13th. And primarily the hunting seasons that we have out here this time of year are pheasant. So we actually do stock parts of the park with pheasant twice a week, and that'll be going on through Thanksgiving. There's also a couple other seasons open right now. The main ones would be rabbit. We have a few hunters out here and there for that, and coyote as well.
So let's talk a little bit about safety and hunting, not only just for our hikers, but also for perhaps maybe the dogs that are walking out there with their human friends.
Yeah, definitely. So it's one of the big concerns we get this time of year. A lot of questions about it. There's a few things you can do to make sure you have a enjoyable and safe time out on the trails at the beach. Number one is blaze orange hats, jackets, anything like that. If you're wearing that blaze orange, it's highly visible, and it should make you clearly distinguishable when you're hiking out in the park. They do also make orange vests for dogs as well. The other thing you can put on your dogs is a bell on their collar or something of that sort that makes noise when they move. And one of the important things with the dogs too is just observing that dogs are still required to be on leash at Sandy Neck until November 1st. And so making sure that your dogs are on leash and that they're within safe distance of you while you're walking on the trails is really important. In addition to that, making sure that you're staying on the marked trails. So long as you're on that trail system, they're pretty open and clear and safe places to be. And then if, there is still some concern, there's a couple of important things to keep in mind. One is that there's no hunting allowed on Sundays. So Sunday is always a day that you can hike around. Shouldn't have any worry with interactions in that regard. And also the front beach. There's no hunting ever allowed on the front beach or within 150 feet of the front beach. So if you come to Sandy Neck and you just want to go out there, and enjoy a hike on the front beach, you should be perfectly fine there as well.
That's excellent. And the hours for hunting, is it sunrise to sunset? Is that how it works?
Yeah, so out at Sandy Neck, it's a half hour before sunrise until sunset each day is the hunting hours.
Okay. So we're out at Sandy Neck. What's the ORV access at this time of year?
So that's another good question, too. And a lot of folks, I think, don't realize that we stay open year-round with ORV access, so long as there's no storms at that time that would cause a closure. So currently, we're still open 8 a.m. until 11 p.m., so you have to be through the gatehouse before 9 p.m. if you want to stay out till 11. However, that does change starting November 1st. We are going to switch over to our off-season hours, and the park will be open every day, 8 a.m. until 4 p.m.
Okay.
And with that, once we switch over to 4 p.m., that does mean no more campfires as well at that time of year.
Okay. And there's no camping at this time of year as well, correct?
There still is, so long as
it's cold.
campers or ORV vehicles, the self-contained vehicles, can still camp out there. Our hours of operation in the gatehouse are lessened, so it's important to check the website and make sure that arrangements are sort of made in advance to be able to get the hang tags to stay out there properly.
Excellent. I think it's just a little too cold for me to be out there
Yeah.
camping at this time of year. But
Yeah, I hear you.
we do have hardy souls here on Cape Cod. So
Yeah.
one of the things that I love to do is hike, and when I hike, look for wildlife. We're getting pictures from Wildlife Wednesday of some really just an amazing sights out on Sandy Neck. Tell us a little bit about what we might see out there at this time of year.
Yeah, definitely. This is one of the best times of the year for wildlife observations, in my opinion. It's a time of year when we're nearing the end of a lot of migration, especially for a lot of birds. So it's when we start to see a lot of, especially different kinds of raptors moving through here. So we get peregrine falcons that move through this area, northern harriers as well. I believe there's also been some bald eagles moving through this area as well. It's also the time of year that pretty much any day now we could start seeing our first snowy owls moving through for the season, which is exciting. We also have, deer sightings are a lot more common. They're definitely getting a lot more active this time of year as we near, the rutting season. So we've been seeing deer moving out there, out on the marsh. We got marine mammals moving through the area. We just saw some gray seals out there today. So there's a lot going on out at the beach this time of year, and the weather is beautiful to be hiking through some of these spots.
So give us a couple of tips of how we can actually see some of these raptors and or some of the other. Do you need binoculars for this stuff?
So that's definitely always one of my suggestions is to have a pair of binoculars and just to be really observant as you're out there. So again, sort of following the trail etiquette and staying on the marked trails and walking down the beach. If you sort of just take the time to wander around and observe, you're likely that you're going to see something great out there, especially in terms of wildlife. And one of the things we do also try and stress out here is, it does get exciting. I still get excited when I see something cool out here, but we want to also make sure that we don't have any sort of negative interactions with that wildlife. So maintaining a safe distance from those animals is really important. So especially if you have a pair of binoculars that allows you to get that really detailed observation without, for instance, if it was a bird, causing them to fly off to another area. A lot of the birds that we see out here that are moving through this area, it's really important for them that they get this rest at this crucial time of the year as they're making these long migrations. So we just want to make sure that we allow them to get that rest and have the ability to safely make it to wherever they're headed at this time of year.
Well, this was a great update. I'm really looking forward to seeing the snowy owls again this year, and hopefully you'll let Channel 18 know when you spot them.
Yeah, sounds good. We got our eyes out every day, and as soon as they're out here, we will let you know.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Sean.
All right, thank you. Take care.
Energy efficiency and saving money are a match made in electricity. Marketing and Communications Coordinator Dan Schell joined us in studio to talk about the innovation included in the Compact's 3-year energy efficiency plan and how you can learn more. It looks like it's actually cold again, and with cold weather comes thoughts about saving money and energy. With me today, Dan Schell, Marketing and Communications Coordinator for Cape Light Compact. We're going to discuss the 3-year energy efficiency plan and how you can get involved with Cape Light Compact. Dan, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Paula.
So give us a little overview of Cape Light Compact and this 3-year energy efficiency plan.
Yeah, so Cape Light Compact, we're supported by the 15 towns of Cape Cod and all the towns on Martha's Vineyard and Dukes County as well. And basically, we have 3 main goals, and that's to provide energy efficiency programming for all of the residents of the Vineyard and Cape Cod, to provide consumer advocacy in regards to energy, and we offer a 100% renewable power supply to all our customers here on Cape Cod. So part of that is that every 3 years, all utility providers and us as Cape Light Compact have to provide an energy efficiency plan, basically saying what we're going to do to help our customers save energy and save money over the next 3 years. So every 3 years, we provide that report to the Department of Public Utilities, and it gets reviewed. It's kind of like a multi-step process. And so we're right near the end of it, getting ready to kick off the 2019 to 2021 plan.
Excellent. So there's things that change in this plan over time. Obviously, technology plays a part in that. And one of the things that I saw in the plan that really piqued my interest is somewhat of something like a microgrid. So tell us a little bit about the response and demand plans in this new energy efficiency.
Yeah. So the big new thing, I think, is going to be, and a lot of this comes out of the Green Communities Act, some of the amendments that were involved there, and it's going to be focusing on increasing resiliency of the community here in the event of large-scale power outages, just like we had last winter. And so the goal here is to get people off of some of the fossil fuel heating sources and get them onto cold climate heat pumps, which are powered by, obviously, electricity. And so it's sort of a three-pronged process. So that would be the cold climate heat pumps, adding solar panels to folks' roofs, and then adding backup battery storage so that as the solar's collecting, if it's a peak super sunny day, it's going to store that energy so that then at night it's able to switch over and still continue to heat the cold climate heat pumps. So that helps with demand response and allowing folks to sort of shift where energy is coming from.
It's interesting, too, that, traditionally when we think of solar, we think of it going back to the grid, and this grid is like this nebulous place that we don't know where it goes.
Right.
Now we're really talking about battery storage.
Yeah, and that's sort of the big next wave. Tesla has their battery packs. That they're sort of pushing out now. And I think that that's really going to be the next wave, is exactly like you said, kind of this microgrid. And the great thing about that is that you can opt to have that discharged back as well. So just like solar panels, if they're overproducing, it goes back into the grid. The same if there's a high demand and your battery has storage, you can push that back into the grid as well.
Right. And let's talk a little bit about high demand events. What are those?
So anytime that there's a really intense burden, so obviously the summer, folks with their air conditioners, those are going to be a higher demand season. In winter, actually, is a similar because we're fueled by natural gas, and so the rates tend to go a little bit higher. So those would be peak events when people are coming home from work, or if it's a super cold day. Those are all examples of when you would have a peak response or a higher demand.
Okay. And is this a pilot program starting with a finite number of consumers?
Yeah, so we like to call it a demonstration. So it's going to be 700 folks over the next 3 years, and that's going to be tiered. So there's going to be folks in different income levels, and each of those different levels are going to have different incentives. So if you're in the low income, which would be 60% below the state median income,
Right.
you'd be 100% covered, 100% incentive.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's actually coming true where we'll be able to like generate our own electricity, store it, and then give it to our neighbors.
Exactly, and that's the goal is to kind of keep energy local here on Cape Cod and build that resiliency, especially being on a sandbar out in the middle of the ocean. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What else is part of this 3-year energy efficiency? What other programs are in there this year?
Yeah, so there's a few different things. One new thing that we're adding is kind of behavior check-ins, essentially. And so what that means is that periodically you'll get a report saying how your energy usage compares to similar households in your area. And so that really lets people know, like, hey, whoa, I'm really using a lot of energy here. I need to maybe check, turn off some lights, see, maybe have a home energy assessment done by a Cape Light Compact to see where you're sort of losing some of those energy. And all that really also benefits the homeowner because they're saving money.
And is this a voluntary thing, or is it based off your usage rates?
Yeah, so it'll be, I believe, based off your usage rates.
Okay. Similar to what National Grid is doing, I
Yeah,
think, right now.
exactly. It's a very similar process.
Okay.
Yep.
And how does that help you as Cape Light Compact? I know that we can save money, but how can you use some of this data at Cape Light Compact?
Yeah, so it's all about shifting behavior and getting people focused on energy efficiency because we have certain goals that we're trying to meet to make sure that we're reducing the amount of electricity being used here on Cape Cod. And so giving people sort of that awareness of what they're actually using compared to their similar homeowners, I think is important.
So how can people get involved? You have some open public meetings?
Yeah, so coming up we've got 3 info sessions that where we'll be presenting on some of this stuff that we've talked about and sort of the broader scope of the plan. And those are coming up next week. We've got 2. One is on October 23rd at Mashpee Public Library from 7 to 8, and then the other one is October 25th from 4 to 5 at Oaks Bluff Public Library for the Martha's Vineyard residents.
Okay, that's fantastic. And can they get consumers get more information from a website or a Facebook page?
Yeah, so obviously you can find more information about all the programs we offer at www.capelightcompact.org. But if you add /EE plan, you can find our whole plan there. And we've also got a short survey that if you read through the plan or if you have thoughts about some of the stuff that we've talked about today, you can give us feedback there as well.
Right. And we just want to reiterate that every town is a partner with Cape Light Compact.
Exactly. Every town has a representative on our board of directors, and they're the ones really sort of guiding some of the stuff that's in here. And so we're excited to have these opportunities to give back to the town and help them save energy and save money.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Dan.
Yeah, thanks, Paul.
Here's a look at the community calendar. Cape Cod Beer is teamed up with Big Rock Oyster, Cape Cod Oysters, the Barnstable Clean Water Coalition, the Greater Hyannis Chamber of Commerce, Barnstable Association for Recreational Shellfishing, and Pineapple Caper for an epic day of oysters, beer, clam chowder, grilled cheese, and live music. Try oysters from all over Cape Cod. Talk to the town of Barnstable's shellfish experts and enjoy live music by 57 Heavy. An epic day of all things oysters at Shuck. Saturday, October 20th at Cape Cod Beer, 12 to 5, Finney's Lane, Hyannis.
It's fulfilling. I kind of have a little bit of a parental instinct towards these. I mean, people have a tendency to look at oysters and not see them as animals, but that's what they are. They're animals, and it's very, very fulfilling to take something from a baby and be able to tend to it, to nurture it, and to give it the best environment it possibly can, and over the course of years, see it grow, and see it do well. Yes, it's hard work, but there's just so many intrinsic benefits that come with it. I mean, look at the location we're in right now. I mean, this is, who wouldn't want to work out here?
happens is you buy seed from a hatchery, and a hatchery is a completely other part of the industry where a facility will basically start an oyster from spat and grow it into what you see as a product. So what you do is you basically take that small product and you put it into a vessel that contains them to the point where they don't blow away, because they're light like a snowflake when they're real young, and they're just like susceptible to like being taken away in the current. So you keep them in a vessel. There's all different types of you know, gear that people use, but basically from that point you grow it until it gets to be of a size that it can fend for itself, and then they go into trays. And from the point that they're in trays, they get larger to where they're 2.5 inches to 3 inches in size for product to pick up, and then you try to get them out the door and sell them.
Support it. It really does a lot of good, both for the economy and for the environment. I mean, the Cape is famous for its seafood and stuff, but when you go to a restaurant, ask where your oysters are coming from. Are they coming from another state, or are they supporting your neighbor, the farmer down the street who is out here growing his product?
Comments, suggestions, accolades? Connect with us on Facebook and Instagram, email us, or send us an old-fashioned note by carrier pigeon. Channel 18 works for you. I'm Paula Hersey, and thank you for watching Barnstable Today.